Hello plant lovers, it is Matthew in Melbourne, surrounded by some orchidy friends, interrupting usual programming. Why? Because, and I cannot quite believe this, plant lovers, I have reached 2,000 subscribers and I just have to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you with all my heart. I honestly could not have imagined in my wildest dreams when I started this channel, kind of accidentally, and I think with a little bit of hubris about my talent and skill with growing orchids, little did I think that people would actually want to see my videos and actually want to subscribe and come along and share the journey. So I just have to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And wind back to the very beginning, and the reason I started the channel were really two things. Firstly, and one leads to the other, is that it was lockdown, and Melbourne, as you might know, had one of the fiercest lockdowns in the world. And plant lovers, I had nothing much to do. And perhaps like many of us, I perhaps dove a little deeper into some hobbies that may have just been little glimmers on the horizon, but have become fully fledged. I won't say obsessions, but I will say passions. So there I was, lockdown time on my hands, and I started just growing, experimenting with a few orchids, and found it quite difficult to find information about things that could grow for me here in Melbourne in my very particular environment, which is suitable for cold, cool, intermediate orchids. But I didn't know that at the time. And because I found it hard to find information, I thought surely there'll be one or two other people who might want to know how to kind of grow these kind of orchids without greenhouses and grow lights and humidifiers, etc. And I really didn't think that anyone would in a million years watch and follow. So here we are today, 2,000 subscribers later, and I just have to say thank you. I'm amazed, but thrilled and delighted. I really do enjoy making these videos and posting them, but perhaps what I enjoy more is connecting with people all over the world, which is just quite a miracle, really, the miracle of YouTube. So thank you, YouTube, for giving us all this opportunity to meet people and learn things and share our own narrative. So for me and the orchids that happen to be in bloom today, I just want to say a million thank yous. And it's kind of cool that Miltoniopsis Kelly Spangled Banner is in bloom with many, 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 many spikes. Look at that, because it's kind of the first tricky orchid that I got to bloom relatively easy very early on in my career. And also Nellie Isla here, and this is actually the second spike. The first one has just gone over. There is a video coming up about that, but there we are. So it's kind of good that these two things are here. And then the other thing, plant lovers, is the name Plant Lovers. And when I began this channel, I didn't really think I knew enough about orchids nor had enough orchids to make weekly videos. So the plan was to include other sort of rare and unusual plants that I was exploring and finding and trying to grow. That kind of fell by the wayside naturally because it became all about orchids, but the name is stuck and here we are. But it just so happens that one of those plants that I would have featured is in bloom right now, and this is commonly known as the Amazon lily, correctly known as Eucharis grandiflora, and I'll put that name below. It is a hybrid of two species and it comes from sort of Colombia, Ecuador. Needless to say, that is tropical. So I grow this indoors all year as a pot plant, and it grows in this room, which if you watched my epic grow space video, this is the study, and it has an east facing window so it gets morning light. Otherwise it's moderate light for the rest of the day. And this, which is an understory plant in its native habitat, seems to be doing very well to the point where it's bloomed, and it is actually quite tricky, they say, to get to bloom in pot culture, but there you are. Loves a bit of neglect. I was going to say as we all do, but we don't. So if you forget to water it, not a problem. Anyway, plant lovers, there is a plant that's not an orchid that we all love. But back to the point of today's video to say thank you, thank you, thank you a million times for watching, for leaving messages, for subscribing, to enabling my amateur ramblings. I do hope it's of use to all of you. It is of use to me because I just really enjoy it, and I do enjoy learning more and finding more, and the people I've been able to meet through this channel has been wonderful. So thank you, and as ever, I look forward to seeing you next week with another continuing adventure of my amateurish orchid journeys here in Melbourne. So until then, thank you and see you then.